What's up, guys? Mason the Brock Henderson here. This is NCIS Season 13, Episode 18, Scoped. Or Scope. One of the two. And the reason I say it like that is because it's Season 13, and yet we still get episodes like this where it's still good. It is still moving, it's good character development, it's all around just good. I'm gonna be honest, going into it, I didn't know what to expect. Like, you hear about the case, it's about people getting shot from long range by a sniper rifle in some other country. Generally, these episodes, like these cases that they get involved in, are mainly just there's a threat to U.S. military somehow, a U.S. official, or somebody's trying to start a war, and they're working really hard to make sure that doesn't happen. They're trying to stop the bad guy from, killing a high-ranking U.S. officer or anything like that. So it's not, most of the cases on this show have been mysteries where there's a bad guy kills somebody else and they're trying to find out who he is. They're trying to discover the truth, find out who done it. And then there are these episodes that are few and far between. Like I said, they're trying to stop terrorist attack or some sort of attack like that. And so going into it, I'm just like, okay, so this is going to be another, intense episode where a guy is about to shoot somebody really important, and something bad's going to happen if they don't stop him in time. So that's going to be the whole story. It's going to be intense at the end. It's going to be enjoyable for most of it. And I didn't really expect anything else. I was kind of like, yeah, that's about it. I was so wrong. And I'm so happy that I was so wrong, too. It's not very often that you really want to be wrong, but in this case, I'm very glad I was. Because they took this episode and really brought some meaning to it. There's a guy who was involved in an attack where this sniper rifle that was very high-powered and actually uses technology so you can hit a moving target easier. It was taken from this base that was attacked, and one of the guys that survived the attack said there's no way, no way they could have gotten away with it, because everything was destroyed. And he, like Gibbs, also a sniper, but he was wounded in the attack. He had PTSD because all of his friends had been blown up by an RPG, and he didn't want to talk to Gibbs. And Gibbs tries to use this the lady therapist that his doctor Taft told him to go see. He tries to use her to talk to this guy, and she's just like, no, you need to talk to him. And so he goes in, tries to talk to him. The guy's just like, no, shuts him out, tells him to leave. And then Gibbs thinks, okay, well, he thinks like me, so snipers are patient and stubborn. So that's what he tries to be for this guy. He's patient and he's stubborn with him, trying to get through to him. And through all of that, like, he finally gets through to this guy. He finally gets him to kind of open up by opening up himself as well. And then whenever he talks to the therapist after this is all over, the guy leaves the place where he's being held for, his whatever. I can't remember what it's called. It's like a handicap, but not really, like wounded warrior type thing. So he's being kept there while he heals. He escapes and leaves, and then Gibbs finds him with a gun on the dashboard inside of this car, and talks him out of ending it all, because this guy has a daughter left that still really looks up to him. So after all of this, he's talking to his therapist, who is informing him that this guy's been going to therapy, things are going well, things are really looking up. And she's like, so what did he do for you? Because her whole plan the entire time was that whenever you help somebody, generally they help you back, in some way or form. She's like, so how did he help you? And then Gibbs just kind of chuckles to himself. It's like, you were therapying me. Might get me to talk to him. It's like, two birds with one stone. It's like, you throw one hell of a stone, doctor. And then the way it ends is just absolutely brilliant. Now, I'm going to get to everybody's ending in a second. But Gibbs this is like a huge step for him, because he's been sleeping on the couch forever because he didn't want to sleep in his room because it was his and his wife's room, and he couldn't get over that. He couldn't get over her death to the point where he could go and sleep in that room again. But now he is. At the end of the episode, he goes in the room, he lays down in the bed and closes his eyes. This is huge. This is 13 seasons in the making. We have not seen a whole lot of growth from Gibbs. Emotional growth, character development. We've seen a little bit here and there. We've seen him experience certain things that have helped him move on from other things. Stuff like that, little things. This is the biggest step that he has taken in his recovery from, his wife and daughter dying, killing the guy that killed his wife and daughter. He's finally taking a big step by finally moving past it. This is huge. This is really, really big, and there are a lot of other stuff to talk about, but this was the one that just kind of made me go, oh my gosh, this episode is amazing. Like, it was disguised in like a little... Alright, I'm here. She's whimpering. But it was disguised in like this case where, this guy's shooting people, and he's trying to assassinate somebody. And I'm just thinking, okay, so this is just going to be an intense episode trying to save somebody. And then they turn it into something really important for Gibbs. And not just for Gibbs. Because it also starts off with, Bishop comes in with McGee and talking about, like, spring cleaning. And McGee's just like, I didn't get a chance to do any of it. And she's just like, what? Why? I got a ton of stuff done. Tony comes in. He's got a ton of stuff done. And McGee's talking about how Delilah, like, made him breakfast, made this 7-layer breakfast burrito, and my mouth was watering just thinking about it. But then, so that's kind of the thing they're talking about between McGee and Bishop. Tony finds this certificate to a nice Italian restaurant for $100. And there's even a nice thing for him. I think I'll do his first. Because he's thinking, okay, I'm going to get a motorcycle. I'm going to get some nice lady to come with me, ride on the back of the motorcycle, and I'm going to take her to Angelini's, and we're going to eat, really nice. And so the whole episode, you're just like, okay, so who's he going to take? What woman is he going to take? He's got all these women he's talking about he could take. And then the sniper that Gibbs is talking to, his daughter, notices that he has that certificate. She's very observant. And says that, it's a very nice restaurant, and the whole point is about family, right? And that's just kind of where she leaves on it. And then you see Tony getting on the motorcycle. Ducky's on a motorcycle. Palmer comes out, has a little joke about, I can't believe I'm the only one that's not riding a motorcycle. And, it's funny stuff. And then, what's his name? Crap. Director Vance. He shows up and he's like, all right, we gonna go? And it's just kind of nice to see that Tony has been kind of fixated on women for the past few episodes. He's been kind of like, women. And so it's kind of nice to see him go, okay, I don't have to take a woman. I'm just gonna take some of these guys. I'm just gonna take some of these guys that are my friends, that are family to me now because of how long we've been working together. I'm gonna take them. That's very nice to see. It's a nice little moment for DiNozzo. But then you've got Bishop talking to McGee about I was thinking about what you said about Delilah waking up and making you a 7-layer burrito for breakfast. That's true love. And McGee's just like, yeah, I was thinking the same thing. And I'm just like, are they gonna do it? And then it pans down to his computer. He's looking up engagement rings. I'm like, yes! Because I can't remember when I was talking about it. I think it was maybe 1 or 2 episodes ago. I was talking about how they need McGee and Delilah to get married. They need that for the show. Because they've been building it up for so long. The relationship stuff in the show is handled very well. I've talked before about how relationship stuff doesn't really intrigue me. The truth is, it kind of does, but it has to be characters that I really enjoy. And for the most part, this is the one of 2 shows that I actually really want to know more about the characters. The other one being Criminal Minds. I think the main point of that is, you're so focused on cases most of the time that honestly it kind of gets to be the same routine. You can only do so many original cases before eventually you've seen it all. So what really gets you invested is watching the team. How do they solve the case? How do they work together? What's going on in their lives outside of the case? And it always has been kind of a outside story. Their lives have been on the outside of these cases. So it's not been invasive. It's not been in your face like, oh, we're forcing relationships on you guys, which is what some other shows do. They try to make it where the relationship is part of the main story for our main character. Like, oh, is he or she gonna fall in love with this one character? And unless that's the main point of the story, like How I Met Your Mother, it just feels like you're forcing this in, and I'd rather see other stuff. The two shows that I can think of off the top of my head are Supergirl and Arrow. Those two in particular really, really tried to focus on relationship stuff way too much. Like, I just want to see them doing their thing. I want to see them saving people. I want to see them helping people, fighting the bad guys. And I had to spend almost half of a couple of the episodes watching them try to work out their relationship trouble. I'm just like, this is stupid. I don't want to see this. So I said all that to say, I'm really excited that they're finally going this route with McGee and Delilah, because they've been together forever. They've moved in together now. We need a wedding. When's the last time? When have we ever had a wedding on the show? I don't think we have. And most shows have a wedding at some point. Like, it's something that a show needs to do at some point, because your characters are in relationships. They do end up in relationships, and McGee and Delilah has been one that I've really enjoyed just because they don't normally do relationships. Like, I don't think I talked about this season because they've really stayed focused on McGee and Delilah as far as like McGee's life, what's going on with his life and stuff. But in the first like 6 or 7 seasons, it felt like McGee and Tony were in a relationship one episode and then out of it the next. And it didn't really feel like they were connecting with anybody. It didn't feel like they were in a relationship for the long run. And if it seemed like they were, things were bound to go wrong eventually. So McGee and Delilah have been in the working for a few seasons now. So it's very nice to see that she's stuck around, that they finally given one of these characters somebody to hold on to. And it's nice to see their story finally come to where it's been leading to. They're going to get married. So, yeah, I do enjoy that fact. And I mainly said all of that to clarify, because if you watch my other reviews, you know how much I hate on relationship bullcrap. This isn't relationship bullcrap. This is just normal relationship stuff that happens on the outside of the cases that they solve. Or, sometimes not solve, but, it depends on the case in general. But yeah, I'm really excited, and the ending was very well done. I mean, you've got this guy, the sniper that Gibbs is trying to help. His daughter says how much he loves music, how much he enjoys singing. And they're talking about this band that they have. In fact, it's a real thing, because at the end of the episode, they said support this at www. I can't remember what it's called now, but it's some sort of like music orientation, not orientation. I don't know what to call it, but it's for these wounded war veterans that really want to try to get into music, or maybe they were going to get into music, but because of their injuries, they can't anymore. And so they're trying to get them back involved in it. And Abby, in this episode, even invents this guitar that lets you play percussion for, veterans that don't have feet, so they can't play like the bass drum or anything like that. She invented a guitar that could play the percussion for them. That was pretty cool. But it shows them playing, and the guy is singing A Broken Hallelujah, which is a great song. And just the emotion behind it, they're all playing, and they're going through all of these storylines. You've got McGee and Bishop in the office, and then they're showing DiNozzo they're showing Gibbs going home, sitting on the couch, and then going into his room. It was just a beautiful ending, and they really handled it well. So that's why I really enjoyed this. I mean, this show knows how to pull it out of the hat whenever you're just sitting there thinking, oh, this is going to be another sort of episode where it's all there. You know, there's your case, there's some funny stuff on the outside. But no, they really took advantage of this and really turned it into something very important for most of our characters. So, yeah, I really enjoyed this episode. I can't wait to see what they're going to do next week. Hopefully they, keep doing stuff like this for the rest of this season. I don't know. I'm excited. So, let me know what you think down in the comments below. What did you enjoy about this episode? What do you want to see next? And what do you think this season is going to end with? Leave a like and subscribe for more NCIS, and I'll see you at the next review. Peace out.